Good morning, class. Since these two evaluating functions lessons are so similar, I'm just going to film them back to back. I even left my Desmos calculator open from what you will see as last week's assignment, evaluating functions number one, to the kind of problems I had with that assignment. And if you have done that for the last week, or maybe you just finished that first assignment recently, and so it's only been less than a week, grab out your Desmos calculator, leave open what you have open, and let's dive into it because, again, this is the same kind of thing with extra practice. So, honestly, you might not even need this video. You might just have it open in the background, try going through it yourself, and then if you miss a problem, then go and look at my explanation. But in theory, you have done all the kinds of problems that will be on this assignment in the first assignment. And so, if you want to be challenged, especially, and think, man, I don't need Dylan. That's an annoying teacher voice in my ears this morning. Just pause the video, try and do it yourself, and then if you have a specific problem that you need help with, you can always just skip ahead to that as well. Or you can play this all the way through. Your call, do whatever you want. All right, number one. This is the exact problem we had last time. We're starting with some examples of literally problems you could pull up from the old assignment to see what the answer were if you forget. Or I could remind you. The question is, does the number of hours worked depend on the amount of the paycheck, or does the amount of the paycheck depend on the number of hours worked? Like I said last time, some people are paid beforehand, but most, if not almost all, find that the amount of their paycheck depended on the number of hours worked. And I hear a lot of high school kids yelling about that, like, my paycheck's so small this week because I only was able to work like 4 hours last paycheck, so you get it. And like I said last time, you could lose a bunch of weight, but that does not mean that all of a sudden you're going to be able to run 100 miles or something. Instead, your total weight loss depends on how many calories you burn, and that, in this case, is dependent on directly on how many miles you run. Okay, getting through these a little faster because they're review. This is a new one, but the same exact thing. Again, you could pause, try this for yourself at any time. The number of granola bars purchased and the total cost. Again, I'm going to the store. The total cost of my granola bars depends on, well, how many do I buy? The more granola bars I buy, the more my total cost will be. All right, then we have some problems to plug in. In this case, I'm going to evaluate this function when x is 3. So I could type in my right side like we did last time. 2 plus 5, parentheses 3. For the parentheses 3, I'm plugging into the function. Reminder, it is a function because it's f of x, meaning a function with respect to x. So f of x is going to be my independent variable and depend on my x. Whatever x is makes my f of x change. All right, now I'm going to be plugging in a squared one. So let's go down below here. X squared is the first thing, so I'm going to put parentheses 6 squared. As always, your squared button can be found right here. A shift 6 and a 2. Minus 7. I get 29. Wow, this one is really similar, so I'm going to just replace this parentheses 6 here with parentheses 10. And I'm going to not forget what I last time did, which is to change the other number too. Made a couple of careless mistakes last time. I'm going to try and avoid this time. But I'm human, so I could make a mistake at any time, just like anyone else. All right, number 7. This is similar to this format, so I'm going to just replace the numbers up here. 7 plus 9x, where x is negative 2. Don't you love that Desmos calculator? It really is. Again, nothing's our yellow graphing calculator, but in some ways it's easier. It's nicer because it just spits out that answer so fast. And you don't have to remember to like put it up at the end of the class period or turn it off or put the cover back on or just return it in general. Okay, so now we're going to find x when p of x is 62. A reminder, we could either guess and adjust. You can, type in your right side here. So I've got 8 plus 6 times something, and I want 62. So I can just like guess some number like 6. And that's 44, and then I could go backwards and keep adjusting that number. Go a little lower until I find that the answer is 9. Or I can use sad me. 62 equals 8 plus 6x. I could subtract 8 from both sides. Get 54 equals 6x. Divide by 6. Sure enough, that's 9. So there are 2 ways of getting these problems. I know people like Tristan out there, you're just going to want to hack it up, guess and adjust. I respect that. If you can guess and adjust well, that is arguably as applicable of a skill as anything else that you'll learn in high school math class. So more power to you. And as always, it's up to you what grade you get. Just make sure you get at least a 70. If you want to skip these last 3 and get a C minus, well, you got all week to do this. Really, you got all semester, so I don't recommend that. But it's up to you. And if you want to spend some time on these, go for it. All right, 8 plus 4 times x. Very similar again. Is it 9? No, I want negative 4. So I'll try a negative number in here. That's 4. I keep getting smaller. Smaller. Hey. So that's kind of fun. I like doing that. And I will show you how to actually write out number 10 because I used that one last time as a guess and adjust one. 8 equals 3 plus x over 3. Sad me. Subtract and add first. I am adding 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 5 is x over 3. Dividing now, the slide into the DMs of the sad me. There you go. Cringy. Divide and multiply. Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. Cancels on the right. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 it is. And does that end up checking out? Let's see. 3 plus 15 over 3. Show me 8. Boom, 8. So I know the answer must be 15. Again, I love that about algebra. You can check, double check, triple check as many times as you want to until you know you're right. I used to love doing that on tests when I was in high school. Completing some complicated algebra problem, checking my work, putting check marks on my paper to say that, hey, I have checked this. And then sometimes I'd be so cocky as I'd write a little message like, don't worry about grading this. I checked them all. It's 100. You can just give me 100. All right. There it is. This is a shorter lesson. Shorter explanation because it's basically all review and just extra practice. So if you needed this, hopefully this is helpful. If you didn't need it, congrats. You learned successfully from the first one. Much love to you all, as always. I hope this video finds you safe and happy and healthy and well. This has been Class Away from Class. Later.